Hi, this is Amy Gansel, part of the City Loan Team here in Cleveland. If you're a homeowner and need money fast, you could get $5,000 cash for only $129.68 a month. Call 1-800-995-CASH to reach your nearest City Loan office. You'll get an answer in just 5 minutes, and your money the very same day. Money when you need it, City Loan treats you right. So give us a call now. You'll be glad you did.
Gets hungry neath the big sky. A big deal, hope he's dropping by. Gather up all the young'uns inside. This deal's made for a big appetite.
It's 4 for $5 time. 4 Arby's beef and cheddar sandwiches for just $5. If you love cheese, you can't beat beef and cheddar, and you definitely can't beat this deal.
Saddle up, hurry on by. It's better out here beneath the western sky.
It's 4 for $5.
Good evening, folks, and welcome back, everybody. I'm Tom, and this is the simulcast up and running now for premiere night, January 9, 1995, out of Crisis City in Los Angeles, California. Man, we have been in this studio now for about 6 weeks getting it ready. And by the way, before I start, and I have an awful lot to talk about, and I don't have time tonight, but you know I love to share backstage with you, and I will during the week. But in the 8.5 years that I was on the air at the other network, never once did Johnny Carson say, "And now stay tuned for Tom Snyder." I thank David Letterman for that courtesy tonight. What a wonderful courtesy to be plugged by the program preceding yours. But Dave, you ought to get to know that Candice Bergen is in fact the host of Murphy Brown. You know, keep that in the back of your mind. Anyway, today has been a terrific day out here in California because it was finally getting time to get this thing on the air. We've been getting ready now for the last 6-7 weeks. And I know that you've been reading about this in the papers until you could throw up from it all. And once we get it on the air, you won't have to read these articles anymore. And this morning, I was assigned by Michael Horowitz, the producer of the program, to go over to KCBS, that'd be Channel 2 here in Los Angeles, and do an interview with one of their reporters there to plug this show. And the interview was scheduled for about 11:15, and I accomplished that. And we finished it and went across the street for a cup of coffee. And Michael said, "Why don't you go back and do the interview now on the news at noon to plug the show further?" And I went back there about 10 minutes to 12, and the security guard at the front gate, he said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Tom Snyder." He said, "What are you here for?" I said, "To do the noon news." He said, "Just a second." He looked at the list. He says, "What's your name again?" And I told him, he says, "Just a second." He picked up the phone, he called somebody and got nowhere. Then he called somebody else, and I'm standing there, and now I'm getting a little steamed, you know. And we picked the third guy, the third phone. I said, "You know something?" I said, "My hair is starting to hurt so bad, I have to get out of here." And I got in the car, and I went home. Didn't accomplish the noon news. Candice Bergen is on this program tonight. First up, the star of the enormously popular Murphy Brown on CBS. And then a bit later on, and these people have gained instant popularity, Robert and Kathleen Gingrich, the parents of the Speaker of the House, Newt, from their home in Dauphin, Pennsylvania. Now, by the way, you might want to stir up a a simultaneity, and I knew I'd make that slip. And you might want to set the VCR because let me just tell you what we have involved here. We have a live satellite link between here and Dauphin, Pennsylvania for radio and television. And we also have the live telephone link between here and Dauphin so they can hear your phone calls on the toll-free exchange. And the great thing is, we've never done this before, and it might just blow up in our faces a little bit later on. And you'd have the videotape at home to show it when the reruns start tomorrow night. Anyway, with us tonight, as they have been for years, we have Ray Figelski on camera number 2, the legendary technical director of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. We have stage manager Mark, who unfortunately believes that he is, in fact, the reincarnation of Ed McMahon. How about an opening night? You are correct, sir.
Yes, you are correct.
Thank you. And on camera number 1, we have Michael Schwartz, who every time there's an author on the show says, "Does anybody else want the book?" So settle back and relax now. I hope you enjoy this as much as we do. It is live and direct from Los Angeles and your home. Candice Bergen is here after these messages.
This is a square inch, and this is a wheat thin. A wheat thin is the most real food deliciousness you can get in a square inch. The most genuine toastiness, the most baked-in crunchiness, the most deep-down munchiness, the most nuttiness, the most dippiness, the most flippiness, the most snackiness, the most lip-smackiness you can get in a square inch. Wheat Thins, the most taste you can get in a square inch. Nabisco.
Intermission, the show that asks, how much do you really know about the silver screen?
Brought to you by the makers of Robitussin, recommended by doctors, pharmacists, and Dr. Mom.
The Brother from Another Planet was heralded for its provocative plot. What prominent director was the brains behind the film? On our 10-point scale, this question has a difficulty rating of 9.
Through the years, the mothers of America have had a kind of medical training.
Next.
They've learned from countless doctors and pharmacists that the way to take care of a cough is with Robitussin. And now at home, the mothers of America are putting this advice to work.
Next.
Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom. Which Robitussin is right for you? Ask your doctor or pharmacist. And for your little patient, try Robitussin Pediatric Cough and Cold Formulas.
As director, writer, editor, and even featured actor in the film, John Sayles demonstrated his many talents.
Now in her 7th season as TV's feistiest anchor lady, Murphy Brown, a great pleasure to welcome as our first guest on this effort here at CBS, a lady who never hesitates to say exactly what's on her mind, that'd be Candice Bergen. And thank you so much for coming over here tonight and helping us get this thing up and running at Channel 2 at CBS.
Oh, Tom,
thanks a million, kid.
I'm flattered, I'm thrilled, and that guard must be feeling awfully bad now.
Well, as I said to the guards, watch the shows. Let me ask you about Murphy Brown. You know, Murphy Brown is a real person. I remember that when Murphy Brown was having her baby some seasons back, I was on the radio, and people would call and they would say, you know, Candice Bergen is pregnant. I said, no. Candice Bergen isn't pregnant. Murphy Brown is pregnant. Let me talk to me about, I'm sure you get letters where Murphy is the real person, and Candice Bergen is merely the conveyor of that person.
Well, my daughter was having people come up to her and say, oh, your mommy's having a baby, and, and she was at an age where she wasn't quite sure, and I was like, no, honey, it's Murphy who's having the baby.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's, I must say, it's not just everyday citizens who make that mistake, Tom.
This is true. It's also people in high office.
That's right.
And as a matter of fact, I remember one episode where Murphy Brown complained that she had lost her invitation to the inauguration of George Bush, and you can pick up the story from there. You got the real thing.
Yes, the Bush administration fixed that right away and sent me or Murphy. I'm not exactly sure who, in fact, I think it might have been me. But
Did you ever talk to Dan Quayle when that whole thing was going on?
No.
If he were to walk in this room right now and we were having a conversation about it, what would your take on that whole incident be about family values in this country?
First of all, I think that both of us would have to have a sense of humor about the incident.
Right.
It was really beyond Rod Serling. And, and second of all, nobody disputed what he was saying about family values. You know, at Murphy Brown, we weren't saying that fathers are dispensable. I myself certainly don't feel that. And Murphy Brown herself was not the demographic target of the women that he was talking about.
And after all, we're talking about a television program here. This is not reality. This is a TV program. But I was often curious as to whether he ever tried to contact you or anybody with the production company.
Well, he did send a note on our return, our opening episode on our return. I don't think we read it because I think it was a little self-serving, or perhaps it was self-righteous. But finally, he has been vindicated to a certain degree by President Clinton embracing the same platform.
Although you are a fictional character, Murphy Brown is a fictional character, how involved does Candice Bergen get watching the news? This whole circus last week involving the Gingriches, who will be on a little bit later, the O.J. Simpson affair, the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan, all these things that we have been bombarded with here over the past 8-9 months. How do you, as a television viewer who plays a newswoman, look at all this stuff?
Well, I look at it from a number of viewpoints. I look at it as a citizen who is sometimes mind-boggled and outraged.
Right, yeah.
and offended at the handling of certain topics by the media. And I look at it as someone who plays a journalist to try to get any sort of story ideas or any sort of personal tidbits that I can for what we could bring to the show in terms of accuracy or style. And I try to be as well informed as I can because Murphy Brown is such a topical show.
Sure.
And I also look at it from someone as a journalist trying to sort of be a partisan in terms of the media, but I must say at times it's pretty hard.
You know, when David Hartman was doing Lucas Tanner, MD, for NBC years ago, he was a medical doctor, and he got hooked on medical technology and that sort of thing. Have you gotten hooked on journalism at all?
Well, I was hooked before I did Murphy Brown on journalism, and I had done quite a lot of journalism for about 15 years before I did Murphy Brown.
A lot of photography, right?
A lot of photography, a lot of writing for Esquire and for Life magazine, and a few episodes on the Today Show, sort of photo essays. So I really was a sort of a journalism fan before the show. So it was perfect for me because I could use everything.
Although in college, that was not your major. In fact, I have a friend who was a year ahead of you at the University of Pennsylvania, and she's told me if you, like you were Miss Penn University, were you not?
I was.
Yeah, hey, celebrate that, you know? you did then, you should now. But your college career, much like mine, did not go very well, did it?
It certainly didn't have longevity,
no.
After 2 years, they wished me success and happiness in another field.
Oh, they said goodbye to you?
Yes, they did. They did. But then they very kindly gave me an honorary doctorate about 3 years ago, or 2 years ago.
And what was your major at Penn?
I actually didn't get that far, but my major was almost art history and journalism, in fact.
Uh-huh. And so then it was off to New York. You spent some time as a model in New York?
I spent very little time as a model because
like I said,
I
you
started...
spent very little time as a
model.
model.
Well, I mean, I modeled summers in between college. And then I went to New York and almost immediately started a movie, which was The Group.
Oh, right. Now, if I were to pick a picture that I remember you when you played Margaret Burke White, the photographer, in the picture Gandhi.
That's right.
And you were one of the few in the picture who did not wear a diaper, as I recall. You were in marked contrast to the male cast of that picture. And where I lose track is how you finally got to the point where I met you in New York and you were wearing the bee suit for Saturday Night Live.
I was in New York then, in fact, working for the Today Show and doing mostly writing, and Saturday Night Live had just begun. And Lorne Michaels asked me to do, I think, the 3rd episode, and then I did an episode a few shows later, and a few after that.
And how happy an experience was that for you?
Oh, it was
so much has been written about the negative part of that, where there were drugs involved with certain people, and I'm not asking about that, but how positive was that for you, that television experience?
It was euphoric. What Lorne and what all of them put together on that show was just an ecstatic experience, and certainly it mutated over time, and you really saw the power of the media because you saw Chevy Chase become a household.
Sure.
I'm Chevy Chase and you're not became a household expression in about a month, and everyone's lives on the show changed so dramatically, some for the good and some for worse.
Yeah, remember how fast Chase took off, though?
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, everybody thought that he was the star of Saturday Night Live. You know, he came on, he did the pratfalls, he did the update with the phone and all this and that. And he was there for about a year, and then I think he left and went on to make motion pictures.
It revolutionized television. We don't even remember because the show's been on so long, but in terms of its music, its production style, the edge of its humor, and the performance that it introduced.
All of it. And so, let me ask you here about your life when you're not at Murphy Brown. I know that you have an 8 or 9-year-old daughter, Chloe, who's the light of your life. I know that you're married to one of the most respected motion picture directors in all of movies, Louis Malle. And you must have to spend some time apart when he goes on projects making films and stuff.
Yes, we do.
And so you're kind of a single mom every now and again.
Yes.
How is that?
It's great, actually. Yeah. Sometimes I love to hog her all to myself. So I'm not all against that. And when Louis is here, it's a little hard for me when I'm working because I feel a pressure to have him entertained and that he not be bored in Los Angeles. And sometimes I'd really rather just stay home.
But like, are you at the PTA or its equivalent at your daughter's school?
Yeah.
Do you get involved in her education? You know, they say that's very important.
Yeah, always. Yeah. Always.
How is she in school? Good?
Yeah, she loves her school. She's with very nice kids, and I make a real effort. I mean, if she has a Christmas program and I'm shooting the show on a Friday, I drive from Burbank all the way across town and get there and drive back. And yeah, I don't miss anything.
But she knows who you are.
Yeah, but we don't pay much attention to it. I mean, it's not given much freight in our house, and never has been. And I think that's important.
Okay, we're with Candice Bergen, folks. You can join us on radio or television on the toll-free exchange. The number is 800-95-CBS-TV. And, you know, for people who wear glasses, that's tough because now they have to try and figure out what the numbers are. So
Tell me about it.
Really? Anyway, it's 1-800-95-CBS-TV on radio and television. We'll continue with Candice Bergen and the true magic, the true incredibility of your telephone calls right after these messages.
This summer, we invited everyone who owns a Saturn to visit Spring Hill, a Saturn homecoming. They could see where their cars were built and meet the people who built them. We could thank them for believing in us. 44,000 people spent their vacations with us at a car plant. Of course, not everything went exactly as planned, but we were all in it together, the way we always have been.
How fast can you begin to feel relief from a cold? Depends. How fast can you open the halls with vapor action? Hall's vapor action means instant action, only from the halls of medicine.
Chew on this. Down in Austin, the hottest places to eat ribs are the hardest places to brush your teeth. Now chew on this. Chewing Trident with NutraSweet after meals can actually help you fight cavities. So when you can't brush, chew on this. Trident.
Tuesday, a 10-year-old's game turns deadly, and the one paramedic who can save him, it's Joseph, is his father.
I love you, Joe.
And all he rescued 911.
On Northern Exposure's new night, Marilyn bids farewell to Joel.
I'm not the same Joel Fleischman. I've changed.
Has Joel really gone native?
It's a long way from New York City.
Or is he gone totally mental?
You eat bear fat?
Find out the incredible truth.
The first time he smelled it, he threw up.
Northern Exposure now on Wednesday.
A lot of
Women of Worth, brought to you by L'Oreal. Nancy Brinker's tragedy inspired her fight for women's health. More after this.
Could the color of your hair use a boost? Casting Tone-on-Tone Colorant from L'Oreal.
It doesn't just color.
It adds shine. And casting boosts your hair's natural color as it blends away first grays.
You'll love how it lasts.
Just click and color. Simple. Low peroxide. No ammonia. No noticeable roots. Casting Tone-on-Tone Colorant from L'Oreal.
Natural-looking hair color with incredible shine.
When her sister Susan died of breast cancer, Nancy Brinker was determined to help find a cure. She founded the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation, and it's become the 4th largest funding organization for breast cancer research in the country. Nancy Brinker, another woman of worth, brought to you by L'Oreal.
Lady, you got a problem?
Yeah, like what to make for dinner.
Relax. Dinner's right here on your Miracle Whip jar.
Wow.
Just stir-fried chicken, mixed vegetables, and the
Soy sauce
with Miracle Whip salad dressing. See? Chicken stir-fry whip-up.
This is amazing.
I'll say.
I gotta call this one in.
So remember, whip-ups with Miracle Whip.
Yeah, honey, we got any Miracle Whip?
We're with Candice Bergen of Murphy Brown on CBS TV, Mondays at 9 o'clock. The number, by the way, translates to these following numerical equations. That'll be 100-95-22788. That's 952-2788. It might save you a little time deciphering your phone dial. Let's go to the phones. Here is Donna in Reno, Nevada. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Donna. My God, it works. There is a God. Donna, nice to hear from you. Hello.
Good luck.
Thank you. If you were writing a review right now, Donna, what would it say?
I'd say it was excellent.
Thank
You're
you.
always excellent.
Thank you. Say hi to Candice. She's right here.
Hi, Candice.
Hi, Donna.
What was your biggest career influence?
I think being born with the right parents, probably in my case.
Yeah?
No, you're very talented.
Well, thank you, Donna.
You're very, very talented. I do watch Murphy Brown.
Oh, well, thank you very much. My biggest career influence probably was the luck of getting Murphy Brown.
Yeah, but you did a lot of good movies other than that. You know,
Oh, a
movies-
few every now and then.
Oh,
but I think
Starting Over was a terrific movie.
It was,
Remember?
it was. I
Great
think my
movie.
father was a big career influence because humor was a very well-valued commodity in our house.
When did
Yeah,
you
that's true.
when did you know that that Charlie McCarthy was like your brother?
When did I know that he was my brother or
Yeah.
wasn't my brother?
Well, you know what I mean. When you
Yeah,
knew
what was
that.
it like living with a dummy?
Oh, Donna.
You don't mind, Donna. I'll ask the question, all right?
Are you sure it's not Dave calling, pretending to be Donna?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, Donna, it was an eccentric upbringing, but actually it was probably more interesting than a lot of kids' upbringing. And it made up for not having a brother until I became 14 and my real brother was born.
Mm-hmm. Donna, I'm glad you called. Thank you for being our first.
Hey, thank you, Tom.
All right. Be well now.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. When did you know that your father was in showbiz and that Charlie McCarthy was a... You know what blows all of us away about your dad, and I knew your dad at the Bel Air Golf Club, is that here was a man that gained his fame as a ventriloquist, which is a visual art, on the radio.
Yes.
I mean, it's incredible.
It required a great leap of faith. You only could take his word for it because who would know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then you would see him in the movies, and occasionally he would move his mouth because the discipline of radio allowed him to do that. But when did you know that this was going on, that this was...
Oh, from a very early age, because there was always when I was little, he was number 1 or 2 on radio, so there was a buzz about all the time. And Charlie had the room next to mine. And I appeared on his radio show when I was about 6 or 7 years old, throwing my voice. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, but do ventriloquists really throw their voice, or do they just not move their mouth when they're talking?
Well, I have to sort of squeeze their voice to make it, if they're throwing their voice, to make it seem like it comes from another place. My father would do that a lot at home, and we'd go to the door, and
Oh, you're
there'd be
kidding,
nobody
really?
there. Oh, yeah.
That's neat. I know when I was a kid, they had a thing you could buy to put in your mouth called the Ventro. Remember that? You'd put it in your mouth, and it would supposedly compress your tongue in such a way that you could throw your voice. But you always wound up spitting it out. It never seemed to work very well. And then at what age did you went abroad to boarding school?
I went to Switzerland to boarding school when I was 14.
And how was that for a 14-year-old girl to have to leave home and mom and
Well,
dad?
I actually was ready to leave home at
Really?
that point. I was sort of ready to go out and about a little bit. And my parents left me at school when I was in September. They took me to Switzerland and took me to school and saw me off. And then they came back at Christmas time to have Christmas in Switzerland. And by then, I was smoking and ordering Bloody Marys, and my mother burst into tears, and my father. And so I said, maybe this wasn't a good idea, because it was a finishing school in more ways than one. And so I sort of had to learn to stop smoking at 14 and stop drinking. But that was actually fairly tame compared to a lot of other girls at the school.
But however did you get into Bloody Marys and cigarettes at the age of 14?
Oh, easy. It was really
simple, huh?
No problem. Switzerland, who knew?
Yeah, but you would think if you were at a boarding school that they would keep you more or less on premises.
Well, they did. In fact, I was kept on premises when I set fire to the ceiling of a restaurant. And it was evacuated, and then they realized that I was out without permission. And so then I was grounded for a month, but then I was back at it. But I'm clean now.
But I say, when did you straighten out, Candice?
I think at 15.
Jeez, man, Mom and Dad come over. How's the kid doing? Bloody Marys and cigarettes. Perfect, age 14. Bob in Lake Ozarks, Missouri. Hello.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Bob.
How are you, Tom?
I'm fine, thanks. Hope you are.
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Good.
I was calling. I had seen Candice on a You Bet Your Life show, a rerun of the Groucho Marx show when she was on with her dad. I was interested to see if that was the first time she'd ever been on TV or...
Well, Tom, I'm trying to buy those tapes up, so if you have one, just let me know how much you want for it.
Hey, Bob, where did you see that show?
Oh, it was just a regular rerun. I'm not sure if it was cable or...
Oh, it was cable,
TV.
Bob.
Yeah, right.
Well, especially since I was 11 and Groucho is dead. But
I must say, for a teenager, you acted just about
the same
as you do now. You're very mature and...
Well, thank you. Actually, that was not my finest hour, I remember. But it was, I think, my first time on television. I think it was probably the first time anyone was on television at that point in time.
Goes back a long time, Bob. Anything else,
right.
Bob?
In her teens, right.
Right. Anything else, Bob?
Well, no. Well, yeah, I meant to call you when you had Bob Costas on his last show. You were on his show.
Right.
I meant to call that night, but it was so late. But, you know, it was just so wonderful. Bob is just a great guy.
Just a wonderful guy. And it's a pleasure to sit here at CBS and spend a lot of time talking about him. It's terrific.
Right. He was inducted to the Missouri Hall of Fame. Sports Hall of Fame.
As a matter of fact, Bob, can I interrupt you for a second here on your show?
Yes, sir.
Bob Costas actually called me today, and he sounds great.
Oh, I was really hoping you'd have him on today, but that's really great. I'm really glad.
Bob?
You're a great
Your
Tom,
wish.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate your calling, and sadly, your wish tonight will not be coming true, but these things happen, right?
Well, right, that's true.
That's true, Bob.
I'm sure we'll see Bob again somewhere.
Okay, yes, we will. That'll be a
Good night.
different network. Okay, Bob, glad you called. Thanks for being with us.
Do you think Dave will call now, Tom?
I beg your pardon? No, he will not call. By the way, he was very generous to us tonight, you know, and he did some comedy bits, which the folks have already seen back east that they'll see here in the West. And this has been a... Why do you keep referring to Dave?
Well, didn't he used to call you all the time?
Not all the time. He would
well,
call
sometimes
once. He would call like on anniversaries of shows.
Well, and you know, it's the first show. He's producing it. It would be
well, yeah, but
he could call as some guy, some weird guy. I mean...
Yes, he could, but
okay, but he didn't.
Resting.
Maybe he'll call for Mrs. Gingrich.
He's resting comfortably tonight.
No, he's not. You know, Dave just doesn't rest comfortably.
Dave is resting comfortably. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Back with more of your phone calls. Bob, call again. We'll talk about Costas. 800-95-227-88.
I'm going to put something in front of you, Kathleen, okay? What do you smell?
I don't smell anything.
That's a bad cold you got there. I have a nasal spray I want to give you. Now what do you smell?
I smell an orange.
Yeah.
This is wild. Tristan.
Tristan 12-hour nasal spray.
This stuff works.
Sometimes with my asthma attacks, I get chest congestion, too.
For Lori's problem, there's Primatene dual-action tablets. They open up clogged breathing tubes and then start relieving the congestion. For effective relief, try Primatene dual-action tablets.
So this is Tristan.
From the first moment.
Did you seduce her just to spite me?
From the first kiss.
You say that again and we're not brothers.
It could never last.
Please don't go.
Legends of the Fall, nominated for 4 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor, Brad Pitt. Surrender to it. Legends of the Fall, rated R. Now at select theaters, starts at additional theaters Friday.
Thursday, Eye to Eye. This pesticide is everywhere. Works great on bugs, but what's it doing to you?
We were breathing it, drinking it, touching it.
I would go into seizures and convulsions.
My left arm was numb.
It can take your life, and it can make your entire life unlivable.
Eye to Eye, Thursday.
And then 48 hours. Is this the cure for cancer? She bet her life on it.
We have enough patients walking around, or alive, we should have been dead.
Do medical miracles really exist? 48 Hours investigates. Thursday.
MCI customers, could this be you talking?
I expected a lower bill. I didn't get it. We did not get the savings we were looking for.
I expected that my bill would go down, and it didn't go down.
Have you gotten the savings you expected from MCI friends and family?
You get a bill and you're going, well, geez, where's the savings here?
People dropped out in my circle that I didn't know had dropped out because they weren't happy with what the savings were.
With MCI, you don't save on calls to people outside your circle.
Friends and family doesn't work at all because no one would switch for me.
Are you going to choose the people you call because they're on a list or not on a list?
I think that's the core part of the problem of the MCI program.
If you want to save on calls to everyone, switch to AT&T for true USA savings. Spend $25 a month and save 20% to anyone, anytime, anywhere in the U.S. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT.
Anyone, anytime. That's it. That's the key word.
This is like to the point, 20% for anybody.
In fact, 4 out of 5 users of MCI Friends and Family Basic would save more with AT&T True USA Savings.
AT&T is simple. You pick up the phone, you call who you want to, and you get your savings.
Just spend $25 a month and we'll subtract 20% off your AT&T bill. Guaranteed. Why spend more? Call now. Switch for free.
I've used MCI and I've come back to AT&T.
I switched back to AT&T.
We're very happy that we've come back.
Join the millions coming back to AT&T for true savings on calls to anyone, anytime. Why be limited to just a circle?
I've tried something else. I'm going back home. I'm going to stick with AT&T.
Call Call today and get a free bonus, AT&T True Rewards. You can earn points good for free AT&T minutes or free miles on Delta, United, or US Air.
My in-laws are actually coming next week due to the bonus programs with AT&T. What's not to like, you know?
Don't you deserve a better way to save? Switch now to AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT.
I gotta get calling on this.
Your true voice.
What a tune. Some you win, some you lose, you know. We're with Candice Bergen at 800-952-2788. You know, the Gingriches, and I'm going to tell the audience backstage, I've been referring to them as the Bickersons, so if I say the Bickersons, it's that I've lost my mind. But the Gingriches named one of their daughters after you. They named her Candice because they were such enormous fans of yours. I don't know if you knew that.
I was just told tonight.
Yeah. And we'd kind of like to test out the remote between here and Dauphin, Pennsylvania. So would you mind just saying hello to the Gingriches for a second?
Thrilled.
Put the Gingriches up there on the screen. This would be Kathleen and Bob. Hi, how are you folks? Okay?
We're just fine, thank you.
Try to hold down that enthusiasm now. Say hi to Candice Bergen. She's right here, folks.
Hi, Candice.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Gingrich. It's very nice to meet you. And I'm very flattered. I just would like to ask you, how does your son feel about your having named your daughter after me?
Well, he wasn't around when it happened.
Usually I do the question. That's a little thing we worked out with the sponsor. That's okay, it's fine.
But you didn't lose control.
No, not at all. No, I've never had it. But how did you happen? What was the motivation for your naming your daughter after Candice Bergen?
It's a lovely name.
But I mean, had you seen her on the air? Or on television or movies?
Oh, yes. I'm not going to say how many years.
No,
don't do that.
No, I'm not going to ask.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Anyway, we'll be back to you in just a second, Mr. and Mrs. Gingrich, and we sure do thank you for coming on tonight. And have you got a cigarette going there, ma'am?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't smoke.
Every picture I've seen of you in the papers, you've had one in your hand. Anyway,
right.
We'll be back with Mr. I beg your pardon?
I have the ashtray right beside me.
All right, terrific. Well, fire one up, kid. It's your own house. You can do as you please.
Thank you, Tom.
And we'll be right back with you in a second. Thanks for joining us tonight. And thank you for making this a memorable evening.
Well, Tom, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
On your first show and your gorgeous set. And good luck.
It is pretty nifty, isn't it? Thanks for coming over,
Thank
Candice.
you.
See you. All best and happy 1995. Tomorrow night, Dan Rostenkowski and Maya Angelou. Later in the week, Ariana Huffington and Kelsey Grammer. And coming up, Mr. and Mrs. Gingrich from their home in suburban Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's working so far, the technology. It's truly amazing what God has wrought here. We'll be right back. Watson, I want you. Now these messages.
Introducing Tidy Scoop with Dust Trap, a revolutionary new ingredient that pours so clean, it's gonna leave all those other scooping fillers in the dust. Make it tidy all the time.
You touch it, it's alive. It's mildew, and cleaning it isn't enough. You have to kill it with Tilex. Tilex's disinfecting formula kills mildew and destroys its stain. Kill mildew with Tilex, now at a new low price.
Did you eat something you didn't want for breakfast?
No, did I?
Cheerios has added salt.
Salt?
Toasted oatmeal honey nut has added fat.
They add fat?
Healthy Choice has added sugar.
As in sugar?
But Nabisco shredded wheat has no added salt, fat, or sugar. It's 100% whole grain wheat with a delicious toasted wheat simple taste. How does that sound?
It sounds great.
Nabisco shredded wheat. It's just naturally good.
So I was at the dentist, and I said, "Doctor, I'm concerned." "Why?" he asked. "Would I be giving up great cavity protection if I used, a more refreshing toothpaste?" He said, "No, Marty, you can have both."
Introducing Icy Mint Crest. We started with the fluoride ingredient thousands of dentists use in their offices and added a refreshing sensation for your mouth.
So I use Icy Mint Crest, and my worries are over. Now that's refreshing.
New Icy Mint Crest, a refreshing choice from the dentist's choice.
Nothing is tougher on dirt. Than a 191 horsepower Chevy S-Series extended cab 4x4. Chevy trucks like a rock.
Get live with CBS on Prodigy, the nation's most popular online service. Go behind the scenes of The Late Late Show with Tom Snyder. Talk with Tom and his guests online. Tell us what you think. Get program information. Even take a special Tom Snyder trivia quiz. To order Prodigy, call 1-800-PRODIGY and ask for the CBS offer today.
Thursday, Leslie Nielsen heads due south to give a killer the shaft.
We will find him. We always do.
Due south Thursday.
The annual January clearance is going on now at Sun with big savings in every store. Save 10 to 40% on selected TVs, VCRs, camcorders, and home audio. Save 10 to 40% on selected computers and accessories. Save 10 to 40% on selected refrigerators, washers, dryers, microwaves, and much, much more. This is a once-a-year event at Sun, so you know the savings have got to be big. Don't miss the January clearance going on now at your Sun Super Savings Center, where you know you pay less.
Kathleen and Robert Gingrich have every reason to be terribly proud of their son. Last week, Newt Gingrich made headlines when he was sworn in as Speaker of the House, and Robert and Kathleen found themselves in the headlines as well. And I'm happy to say they join us this morning from their home in Dauphin, Pennsylvania. Folks, I know it's late at night, and thank you for staying up. All of us really appreciate your time, and good evening to you, folks.
Good evening.
Let me ask you about this whole week that began with the wonderful ceremony in the Capitol when Newt was sworn in as Speaker of the House, and then all of the media attention that has come to you from a whispered remark on a television news program. How have your lives held together through all this?
Well, I think we have each other. I can lean on Bob. Otherwise, I don't know. It was really a rough week, really.
What were the roughest parts of it, Bob?
There really were no rough parts. As far as I'm concerned, it's a done deed, and the sooner forgotten, the better.
Oh, I understand that. But I mean, what about just the media attention? For example, I was told that Kathleen went to the hairdressers and there was a reporter there from a magazine. And you probably wake up in the morning and you got a camera poking into your kitchen or waiting outside your driveway. What's it like? I mean, I wouldn't like that kind of stuff happening at my house, and I know how this process works, for heaven's sake.
Well, just the cost of the hairdresser alone is enough to break me. But there's something I have to tell you, Tom.
Okay.
I've been thinking about your show all day, and for some reason I have this terrific urge to run out and get a cheesesteak.
Well, if you want to do that, you can certainly go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Why do you have this urge, by the way?
I don't know. It's something to do with you and the show and just Philadelphia. Did you like cheesesteaks?
I love Pat cheesesteaks in Philadelphia. They were delicious, but now Pat uses Cheese Whiz, I hate to tell you.
Oh, I'll never go back.
So when you got to the beautician today, and the reporter was there, or was it yesterday, I forget which, didn't you think, geez, don't these people ever let go?
Well, she was very nice. She wasn't pushy. She didn't ask me anything that I couldn't answer. It was mostly about Nudie and his growing up.
Right.
And let me show you.
Now this is oh, look at here.
That's the Speaker of the House now.
And how old was he when that picture was taken?
Oh, he was about 18. Two. He was a beautiful little boy.
He sure was. He sure was. And what about those pictures behind you on the piano? I notice you have the Time magazine cover back there, and you have some pictures of your daughters. Are those family favorites back there?
They're all family.
Yeah, terrific.
Yeah.
The thing that I was interested to learn in reading about you and reading about your family is that Newt Gingrich was born in the hospital in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, right?
Mm-hmm, he sure was.
And
yep.
at what point, Bob, did the family move to Georgia?
Oh, that was a long time afterwards. That was in 1960,
right?
We came back from Europe. and went to Fort Benning, Georgia.
How many of them things? How many of those things do you smoke a day?
Who, me?
No, you're.
Well, he doesn't smoke. I don't count them, so I don't know.
I guess you haven't read the Surgeon General's report yet.
Well, it wouldn't do me any good.
I got you. And and I read in the papers that Robert chews tobacco. Is that true, sir?
That's true.
You know,
I had to quit smoking, so that's my stop.
Have you got a chew going now?
No, there's no place to spit.
I know. I was with a fellow once. He said, you ought to try this chewing tobacco. And I didn't spit. I swallowed. And man, I choked for days. He says, no, you got to spit.
Yep.
What about your military career? Is that what took you to the South in 1960, Robert?
Yeah, I was originally in World War II in 45 and 46.
Mm-hmm.
I got out and went to college, and I went back in 51 as an officer. And I went to Korea. When I came back from Korea, I got the family, and we went to Fort Riley.
Right.
From Riley, we went to France. From France, we went to Germany. And then from Germany, we went to Fort Benning.
And how did Newton and your other kids do? You know, we've often heard of Army brats or military brats and how tough it is when they get yanked out of school and moved around the world or around the country. How tough was it on the kids with all the moving that you had to do in your career?
Well, in the school year 1956 and 57, they started school in Fort Riley, Kansas, went for a period in Pennsylvania, and finished a year in France.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't bother them as far as their scholastic achievements went. It didn't bother them, period.
Right. In other words, they kept up their grades, and they didn't seem to be, socially bothered by all the moves.
They were socially bothered to a certain extent that they make close friends, and in a period of time, they'd have to go someplace else and make new friends.
Right. And Kathleen, have you received a phone call from Mrs. Clinton, or was it a letter inviting you?
No. Yeah, it was a note to Nudie, a very gracious note, inviting me to the White House.
Mm-hmm. And
yes.
When do you plan to go down there?
Well, he's setting up all the arrangements, so I'm not sure, but maybe this week.
Oh, really? And like when you meet Mrs. Clinton and you shake hands and say hello, what do you think the conversation will be about?
Oh, boy, that's hard to say. I can always talk about my granddaughters.
Yeah. But, I mean, if when you meet Hillary Clinton, and you will do that, what will you say to her, do you think?
Well, I'll tell her how gracious it is. She invited me to the White House and to a tour.
Right.
It really does. It is a lovely gesture on her part.
Yes, it is. And would you like be whispering anything in her ear?
No. I don't think so.
All right.
I think it'll be quite a while before I go whispering.
I believe so. If you can hang on for a few seconds, I've got a commercial waiting back with some phone calls from all Americans who'd like to talk to you. They've seen your son, and I know they're pleased to see you with us tonight. We'll continue with Robert and Kathleen Gingrich from their home in Dauphin, Pennsylvania. The toll-free exchange is 1-800-95-CBS-TV. That's 800-95-22788. I'm Tom. This is the simulcast. We'll be right back after a commercial break.
Everybody needs some money sometime. Everybody needs some cash somehow.
Hello?
Rita.
It's midnight.
I need $500. Now.
I'll call Western Union.
Just call 1-800-CALL-CASH, and you can send money from home.
My sometime is now.
Western Union.
Oh, yeah.
The fastest way to send money worldwide.
How fast can you begin to feel relief from a cold? Depends. How fast can you open a Hall's with vapor action? Hall's vapor action means instant action, only from the halls of medicine.
Introducing the only candy made with the refreshing tart and sweet taste of Ocean Spray. All natural fruit waves when you're thirsty for a great candy.
From
From the creator of the award-winning television series Wild America comes a home video unlike anything you've ever seen. This is the timeless drama of survival, the age-old struggle for supremacy, ritualistic battles designed by nature, where the enemy could be one of your own. These are nature's spectacular showdowns, available now for the first time in this special one-hour home video. Spectacular Showdowns brings you unforgettable excitement from the wildest lands in North America. Feel the heart-pounding suspense as great beasts face off and decide in battle who will rule. Spectacular Showdowns is filmed and narrated by Marty Stauffer, creator of the popular TV series Wild America. For 20 years, Marty has brought America's rich natural heritage to the screen as no one else can. Now, he's assembled the most electrifying battle scenes ever captured in the wilds of our own country. If you crave excitement, if you're captivated by the fight for supremacy, this film is for you. Call this toll-free number now and order Spectacular Showdowns for just $19.95. This original production is a must for every family and nature lover and is not available in stores. Order now and you'll also receive free Photographing Wildlife from the only series ever to exclusively portray the wonders of North America's wild creatures. That's right. Both of these extraordinary programs are yours for just $19.95. So call now.
For rush delivery, get your credit card ready and call 1-800-219-7766. That's 1-800-219-7766. Or send your check or money order to Spectacular Showdowns, 5959 Triumph Street, Commerce, California, 90040. Call 1-800-219-7766 right now.
We're with Robert and Kathleen Gingrich from their home in Dauphin, Pennsylvania. Here now is Cindy joining us on the toll-free from Springfield, Missouri. Hi, Cindy. It's Tom, and you're on.
Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Cindy. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm still alive in 95.
Terrific.
So I wanted to tell the Gingriches,
okay.
First of all, congratulations on your son's success.
Thank
you. I just wanted to ask you both, how do you feel about Rush Limbaugh?
I like him. I enjoy him. I think he's funny. I'm just sorry that they changed the hours that he's on so late at night.
Oh, you mean, is that on television, Kathleen, or on radio? Because on radio, he's on during the daytime, isn't he?
Yeah, from 1 to 3, I think. But he used to be on from 12 to 12:30 on TV.
Oh, I see.
And that was nice, in the middle of the day. It was time for a break.
And what's the reason for the question, Cindy?
Well, you know, Rush is he's always talking about politics and things, so I just wondered how they felt, and I believe Rush likes Newt.
Oh, there's no question about it.
Oh, yeah, he's a very firm supporter of Newt.
Yep, Rush is a devout Republican.
Right. So anyway, I was just, I just thought I'd shoot the stuff with you.
You got it. Thanks for calling.
Okay, have a good one.
All right, talk to you soon. From nearby, here's Dottie in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. Hi there. Dottie in Collegeville, PA. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Dottie, how you been, love? Okay?
Listen, I followed you over.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. I wanted to say to Mrs. Gingrich,
yep.
I wondered how she felt with her son becoming such an important person in the United States.
How do I feel about it?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm thrilled, naturally, and I hope that he can do the job that he plans on doing. If he does. Pardon?
I was just going to say, let me ask you both what it must have felt like to stand in the chamber in Washington, in the capital of the United States of America. You, Robert, a distinguished military veteran with a record of service to his country, and to see your kid become Speaker of the House of Representatives and third in line for the presidency of the United States. It's got to be a great moment for you.
Well, definitely, it was a great moment, and it's like nothing has ever happened to me before. You can't compare it to anything else.
Oh, I'm sure you can't. I'm sure you can't. So, Dottie, how are we doing? Okay?
Hey, I'm doing great, Tom, and I just wanted to tell you that I wish you lots of luck with your new position.
Right.
And
well, it's about Dottie.
Yes.
I'm in the same position I've always been in. I'm just on a different television network right now.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but how are we doing tonight? Are we okay so far?
Hey, you're doing great.
All right, Dottie. I'm glad you called. Thanks.
Okay, you
All
take
right.
care, Tom.
I'll do the best I can, Dottie, and thanks for ringing us up.
Okay,
All right.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Do you folks keep in touch with politics? Are you fans of politics because your son's been involved in it now for so many years?
Not really.
No?
Not really. I keep scrapbooks of nudie.
Oh, I understand that, but you know, just wondered if you watched a lot of TV, watched the politicians on.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. 21, 22, and 29. Yep.
That's CNN and C-SPAN.
Gotcha. And I noticed on the other programs that I've seen, Robert, you were always making a cake or cooking a pie. Are you doing any cooking tonight, or is the kitchen closed now?
The kitchen's closed, but I did bake 2 pumpkin pies today.
Are they easy or tough?
They're easy.
Do you use fresh pumpkin or canned?
Canned.
Isn't that cheating?
That's cheaper and easier.
And I hear that you're also the chief cook around the Gingrich household. That you have a couple of special dishes you make. Why are you the kitchen maven?
Well, I do want to eat.
Very diplomatic answer. For a long time, when I was a married person, I did most of the cooking because it was that or starvation. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's hang on for Evelyn in Wilford, Arkansas. Hi. Hi, Evelyn. It's Tom. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Doing great. You're doing a wonderful job.
Oh, thanks,
Thank
Evelyn.
God for you.
Thank
a
you.
show with wit and intellect, something we've been craving.
Well, crave no longer, and say hi to Robert and Kathleen Gingrich. They're right here.
I'll do it. Good evening, Mr. and Ms. Gingrich. It's
Hello.
such a
Hi.
pleasure to see you.
Thank
Are
you.
you looking forward to your trip to the White House?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Well, you know what? I think you're going to have a delightful time because you and Hillary have something in common. You're women who aren't afraid to say what you think, and we need more of it. Good luck to you.
By the way, Evelyn, you make a point. You know, Mrs. Clinton is hardly a wallflower when it comes to speaking her mind.
Absolutely not. She's no cookie baker.
This is
Tom,
true.
I can't tell you how good it is to see that white head on TV again.
Well, thank you very, very kindly. It's nice to have this old, almost white head back on TV
Yes.
again.
Wonderful to see you.
All right, Evelyn, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
All right, all right. Bye-bye now. Before we let you go, and it's getting very, very late back there in Dauphin, Pennsylvania, I would assume that after our conversation here tonight, all of this will come to a halt. Will this be the end of the Gingrich's excursion into TV land?
Say that again.
Will this be the end of the...
Yes, Tom, yours is our finale.
Swan song.
Yeah.
The swan
yeah,
song.
our swan song.
And, you know, a year from now when you look back on this, I hope that you'll find this evening was pleasurable, and I hope that you'll find the whole thing wasn't as negative an experience for you as it might have seemed during the last 4 or 5 days. There are some good folks in the television business, as I'm sure you know.
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely.
I don't think Robert's too sure about that.
Well, I'm positive. I'm sure about that. I mean, like I said, it's a done deed. Let's bury it and march on.
And after you make the trip to the White House, if you'd like, and we can do this earlier in the day, we'd like a little report on how you found the Clintons and how you found the White House and, you know, what you did. If we could give you a phone call or something like that, we'd be most appreciative.
Well, I'd be glad to.
Okay. And again, you're really not sure when, but maybe this week.
Well, that's what Nudie said. The sooner we do it, it'd be better.
Now, you know, we don't refer to the Speaker of the House as Nudie. We call him Mr. Speaker.
Well, he's my son, and I call him Nudie.
Good for you.
He has never said, don't call me Nudie, Mother. He hasn't.
All right.
So if he did, I wouldn't do it.
Robert and Kathleen, I appreciate you staying up very late tonight and for being good sports about this. And thanks again for your time, and I wish you all the best, and I hope to talk to you again in the future.
Well, thank you. And you have a wonderful crew right here in my living room.
Well, thank you for your kindness to our
couldn't be
crew.
better.
Thank
They
you for our
couldn't be
kindness to our crew there. I know you took them out to a restaurant the other night, and they appreciate that. And I'm glad to hear, by the way, you will not need eye surgery, that you're going to be fine.
Oh, that's right, as far as I know.
All right. Thanks again, folks.
Thank
Bye-bye
you.
now.
Thank you.
By the way, Kathleen Gingrich was facing the possibility of eye surgery, but she checked with her eye doctor today, and a little stitch here, a little stitch there, and she's going to be fine and should be at the White House by the end of the week. Back to wrap it up for Monday night, early Tuesday, and a reminder about tomorrow night's programs coming up right after a short break, and I hope you'll stay with us.
If I'm in my office, I'm not doing my job. When a story hits, you can't stop to eat. So I carry Snickers.
Packed with fresh roasted peanuts, thick milk chocolate, and caramel. Snickers satisfies.
Hey, when you're the eyes and ears of a million people, you can't let your stomach get in the way.
Now that Hidden Valley makes ready-to-eat dips, people are diving in. Dive into new Hidden Valley dips, now in the salad dressing aisle.
When you have a cold, a smart way to get medicine is little by little throughout the day. But this is a little extreme for a cold. That's why there's Contact. Its tiny time pills work fast, then keep releasing medicine for 12 hours, like an IV. Contact. Relief that's fast, relief that lasts.
If this was your car, if this was your daughter, wouldn't you feel safer knowing this was your battery? The all-new Die Hard battery at Sears. It's the next generation of Die Hard, the longest lasting ever. Don't trust your family to anything less.
Have you ever renewed your driver's license? Had a cash machine?
Nice picture.
Fixed your car with a television?
You're having a problem with your rotor. Can you walk me through that? Move your right hand.
Or had an assistant?
Good morning.
Here. Who lived in your computer?
The reference material I've gathered for your 10 o'clock meeting, and I'm still working on those playout tickets. Good boy.
You will. And the company that'll bring it to you, AT&T.
I can do anything. I've got fish in my pants.
That's right, because he's Jon Stewart.
All right.
And John's breathing new life into late-night TV. Just ask Baywatch's Pamela Anderson.
And then you just breathe into it. So I thought, do you want to try it? Okay, so let's just try that then. All right.
The Jon Stewart Show. More fun than you should be allowed to have.
Jon Stewart, weeknights at 1:35 on 19.
My guy's a Mega Man. He doesn't sleep enough, he doesn't eat right, not that I cook. And the pressure. So he takes Mega Man from GNC. It's a multivitamin formulated just for men. Sorry, girls, men have different needs. It's got energizing herbs and special male nutrients, and he's a better man for it. Now, about the wardrobe, it's a guy thing.
Mega Men. Only at General Nutrition Centers. Here's to your health, America.
You know, for all of you who took the time to call or write to us here at CBS in the past couple of days, and to everybody, I mean, a man on the street stopped today in his car and rolled down the window and said, you know, good luck at CBS, and many of you have done that here in Los Angeles and in New York and in San Francisco for the past 4 or 5 weeks, and I want you to know how much I appreciate your encouragement and your support and how happy we are to be at CBS. Back tomorrow night, same time, same station. Drive safely on the way home and sleep tight, America. Good night, everybody.
Later tonight, head into the 21st century with a CD-ROM review, deep-sea dives, and sky surfing on your desktop. Log in to CBS News Up to the Minute.
Bicycles meet basketball's bad boy, Dennis Rodman, on Double Rush.
You had a celebrity run last week. Yeah, Disney on Ice. I saw Pluto naked. Big water.
Wednesday.
This is CBS.